Planning and Zoning proposed a new regulation restricting new recycling facilities to the IP zone and prohibiting it in the I2 zone, including 30 Old Post Road. At the hearing for this regulation held on July 30, 2018, Old Post Road Realty's attorney, Tom Cronan, cross-examines and attempts to intimidate the commission, setting them up for an appeal that follows the passage of this regulation. Here is a clip of that hearing. Action.
At this time, then, I would invite forward people who would like to speak in opposition to this amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Tom Cronan. I'm familiar to most of you. I'm an attorney at law. I practice at 20 Water Street, Guilford, Connecticut, the firm of Cronan and Shields. I can't help that. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I'll do the best I can. Before speaking, it's been my normal experience that there's an opportunity to ask some clarifying questions. May I take that opportunity now before I render any remarks?
Certainly.
I'd like to begin by trying to get a better understanding. Does that help everybody if I hold this closer? Okay. I tried to follow the proposed changes, the changes proposed by Mr. Guskowski in the letter that was written at the beginning of the hearing. I'm working off of a document called Public Hearing Version. It was published on June 14th, 2018. So I guess my first question is that a good base document to work off of and against which to consider Mr. Guskowski's changes, or is there some more recent version than that?
It is a reasonable document to work off of, although we have the additional comments from the planner that have added to that a little bit.
In the correspondence read this evening. Exactly. So in an effort to understand, so I can just keep track of what Mr. Guskowski proposed, I'm looking at new section 27.2.82, and I see, and I think I understand the point that I think it was Attorney Roberts made, that there's no real difference between the inside of 250 feet and outside of 250 feet. So I can understand the compression of doing away with the 250-foot number. In the I-1 zone, is it still an X? Yes? In the I2 zone, is it still an X? And in the IP zone, is it special exception?
Right.
Okay, thank you very much. May I ask, when did the idea for this specific zone change first arise?
It came about because this was a series of uses that we do not allow explicitly, but we were concerned that issues, it could be misinterpreted as being allowed by being closely related to other uses. So that's how this came about.
So when did that take place? On the calendar, roughly.
When did we put this forward? Well, it was about 60 days ago, or more than that, but, because we had to have a 60-day review period.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. I don't think that's relevant. I mean, we're trying to bring good, strong regulations to the town, protect the town. When we did it is a moot point.
Is it appropriate to ask Mr. Cronan if you're representing a client? Or
Yes, I am. I'm representing Shoreline Rail and Recycling, 30 Old Post Road. Okay, that will become clear in a moment.
Is he a resident, not a resident of Clinton? stay on.
No, he's.
Mr. Chairman, would you please maintain order?
Go ahead and continue.
Thank you. Did the proposed amendment come out of a PZC subcommittee?
I don't see where that's relevant.
Well, it's just a question that's going to have to be answered at some point. Do you want to answer it tonight? Was there a subcommittee, sir?
No.
There was no subcommittee. Where?
This came from my request to the planner to look into the situation.
Okay. Now, why is this regulation aimed specifically at recycling?
As I said before, this is a use that is not allowed under current regulations, but we were concerned it would be rolled into other uses that are allowed.
And I thought I'd say, Mr. Chairman, it is not specifically drafted to give your client any issue.
Well, thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
Why, since this, so I gather that one of the driving forces of this regulation is to clarify that recycling isn't kind of anticipated in any of the other permitted uses, correct? Okay. Why did you choose not to make recycling a defined term in the regulations as part of this whole amendment process?
That would probably be a good follow-up proposal.
Okay. If you do not define recycling, am I correct that it will be interpreted as having its normal meaning?
Sorry?
If,
I cannot tell you how it will be interpreted.
all right, well then, I'd like to ask, one of the uses that's permitted is boat repairs and such things. So if in the course of repairing a boat, which is a permitted use, I used recycled or used parts, would that fall within this prohibition or not?
Of course not.
Of course it would.
Now, please stick to your testimony. What is your testimony?
Well, I'm trying to get, you agreed I could ask some questions of clarification. I actually do only have one more question, and it's a very important one. Has any member of this PZC discussed this zone regulation change with any present member of the Board of Selectmen of the town of Clinton?
I can only speak for myself and say that I have not.
You have not. Can we go down to the board? So I'm not allowed to find out whether or not this board has had conversation with anyone from the selectmen's office.
It is not pertinent to the...
It would only be pertinent if it turned out that the genesis of this.
I was the person who asked the planner to do this.
Excellent.
And I did not speak to it for selectmen about it.
Can you, sir, state whether the commission has complied with...
What is this, a deposition? Let him speak, come on.
No, please let him speak.
Get the town attorney. It's ridiculous. Sounds like a deposition.
Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you tell me whether the commission has complied with the statutory requirement found in section 8-3A, which says that when you file a zone change, you have to file a description of the property affected in the town clerk's office? Do you know whether that's been done, sir?
I do not know that off the top of my head.
Thank you. You read a letter from Mr. Tom Berman. Can I ask if he's here this evening? He submitted the letter, so he's not available to...
Just this evening, he left the premises.
Excellent. I tried to listen to the letter. I did not hear anything in the letter that raised any concerns about the uses permitted in 27.2.76 and 22.277, which are flammable explosive materials and oil, propane, gasoline tanks. So he has no opinion on whether or not those are troublesome. Would that be a fair conclusion?
I can't speak for him.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. I do have a few more questions, but I'd like to do them in letter form. I have for you a letter dated today that I'd like to submit for the record as an exhibit, and I'd also like to submit pages 39 through 44 from the Clinton Plan of Conservation and Development. Will you accept that into the record, sir?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
It's okay. The letter does contain a number of questions that I decided to put in letter form because I've had past experiences in front of zoning boards where the transcript gets a little muddled and garbled because of papers rustling and side conversations and stuff. It does ask that the commission take the time to answer those questions and provide answers to those questions in order for me to be able to protect my client's vested rights without violating any kind of due process. It would probably require either a recess and the answers tonight or a continuance. Either would be acceptable to me. I do represent Shoreline Rail and Recycling. They bought the old Unilever warehouse, which is specifically referenced in the POCD. I think the POCD is a little bit dated because it talks about my client's plan to rebuild in 2015. Just for the record, and those of you who may not have been in town or on a planning board, that building fell down after my clients purchased it. It fell down and had to be rebuilt. But it couldn't be rebuilt because it was filled with hazardous substances, which my client remediated. And the process of getting the permits to remediate it took us past the period that the Clinton zoning regulations allows for variances. It says if the building falls down, you've got X number of years to rebuild. If you don't rebuild within that period, you lose it.
Point of order, this is.
Sir, you seem to have an agenda that
Please let me.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
No, point of order is
You
right.
told not to discuss a specific thing, and he's doing that.
Yes, please limit your comments to the amendment.
To the regulation amendment. I will do that, and I do apologize. I did kind of get off track on all of this. I have submitted the list of questions. I do look forward to hearing your response, and thank you for the opportunity to speak before you tonight.
We'll talk to the commission after everybody.
No, I just had a point of clarification.
Okay.
Mr. Cronan submitted a letter, and the secretary clarified who the author of the letter is, please, for the record.
Well, it's me.
Okay, well, that's, how many pages?
The author of the letter.
Tom Cronan, that's right. Counsel for Shoreline Rail and Recycling LLC.
Thank you. Okay. At this time, is there anyone else who would like to speak in opposition to this amendment? Okay, are there any general comments that people would like to make?
This video provided as a public service by Kirk Carr, the Kirkster. Thank you for watching.